Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is the show where we take your sources, we peel back those layers, and really pull out the nuggets that help you connect the dots. Think of us as, well, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed, hopefully with a few surprising facts, maybe a bit of humor, just to keep you hooked. Today, we're jumping into a really fascinating, and I have to say, very unusual set of sources. We've got these excerpts. They sound like an audio piece, like a morning briefing, from a radio station on Martha's Vineyard. And this isn't, your standard news report. It feels more like a quiet signal in itself. It details all these subtle anomalies that, when you string them together, well, they tell a pretty compelling story.
Yeah, it's really intriguing how this one person, May, the host, she gathers these seemingly disconnected bits of info from her unique spot there, and she paints this picture that's, well, it's both unsettling and definitely thought-provoking. We're going to explore her specific observations, and I think more importantly, what she thinks they mean, and maybe what that could mean for you, just paying attention to the world.
Right. So if you're ready to tune into some pretty peculiar frequencies and really unpack what Mallory's picking up on, let's dive right in. Okay, so our source drops us right into WVVX 680 AM Vineyard Sound Radio on Martha's Vineyard at 6:00 AM Eastern, Thursday morning, March 19th, brisk morning. And the voice we hear is Maley, described as composed, warm, even talking about fog, teasing the shoreline.
Yeah, her setup is really evocative, isn't it? You hear the analog clocks ticking, maybe a soft breeze, that low hum from an old transmitter, morning gulls. It's not some slick, high-tech news desk. It feels really grounded, traditional, almost a throwback. She even mentions her coffee's about 2 minutes behind schedule. It's a very specific tone.
Yeah. Gives you the baseline first. Chilly, 36, 38 degrees. Wind soft, northeast, 6 knots. High tide, 10:17 a.m. Normal morning stuff. But then she pivots. She hints at what little we're hearing on the wires.
And what's really key here, I think, is her personal connection to WVVX. She shares that her grandfather built it. He left civil defense in the early 70s, and his whole philosophy was that there needed to be a light left on in case it all went sideways again.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, not digital, not reliant on someone else's satellite, just a warm coil and a steady hand. That really frames everything she does, her perspective, her role.
Exactly. It explains so much. She believes broadcasts matter most when no one else is speaking. So, okay, with that context, let's get into the patterns she's logging that maybe others are missing. And this is where it gets really interesting. Maley starts noting what she calls odd patterns, beginning with air travel. Okay, so Logan Airport in Boston, Syracuse, and even Victoria, British Columbia, they all reported late-night inbound delays. The reason given, health protocols. And Mallory flags this, saying that exact phrase has popped up 3 times in just 2 weeks.
Right, and she adds that, unofficial chatter suggested 2 flights were actually held for onboard illness reports. Passengers apparently offloaded quietly. And get this, no ambulance lights, just these dark window transports headed west.
Which sounds, quiet. Public health, she notes, insists it's nothing, just a bad flu strain.
Mm-hmm. Standard explanation, maybe?
But May's gut, her experience, tells her something else. She says, and this really stuck with me, I've seen these patterns before. They never start with the headlines.
That's a powerful statement, isn't it? It really highlights how official stories can sometimes lag behind what's actually happening on the ground. May's approach is all about connecting those subtle dots before they become headlines. It's not waiting for the siren, it's noticing the shift, a key thing for how you might process information, too.
Definitely. So from the air, May then turns her attention to the sea. Marine traffic, she says, has gone odd. She's watching the AIS trackers, the systems logging ship positions, and sees congestion all up and down the East Coast.
Yeah, and she puts numbers on it. At least 26 commercial freighters floating just outside U.S. port boundaries. Places like Charleston, Boston, Norfolk, New Bedford. But the really concerning part, 4 of them aren't pinging IDs. No manifest updates, no docking instructions.
Right. So for commercial ships, that AIS ping is like their digital fingerprint, right? It's standard.
Exactly. So going dark, not reporting manifests, that's a significant red flag. Could be a major glitch, sure.
Or something else.
Yeah.
And then there's this detail, really chilling. A listener down at the Vineyard Haven terminal reported seeing 1 vessel pass by last night. No lights, no markings, silent, just silent.
Wow.
Mary wonders, is it mechanical, software glitch, or she asks something more deliberate.
And the Coast Guard.
She notes, no advisories yet.
Which just hangs there, raises that big question. What is going on with the ships? Mechanical, or is May onto something deeper? It's a really compelling puzzle. I mean, yes, systems fail, glitches happen, of course. But the pattern May sees multiple ships, no IDs, no manifests, plus that silent, dark vessel. It starts to feel like more than just coincidence, doesn't it?
It really does.
And the Coast Guard's silence is interesting, too. Maybe they're investigating quietly, or maybe they just don't have an explanation yet. May's strength is she's looking past the official silence or lack of answers and trusting her experience.
That independent perspective again. Okay, so from these visual things, planes, ships, May then turns to her real expertise, the radio signals themselves. This is where that light-left-on philosophy really kicks in.
Right. She catches this faint burst, unintelligible, but notes it sounded either Polish and Czech. And it's on a civilian frequency, but with an emergency tone buried underneath, which is odd in itself, right? Civilian bands aren't usually for that sort of thing.
No. And then on the CW band, that's Morse code, for those unfamiliar, she heard an irregular NATO signature, one she hasn't heard since a live fire drill the previous year.
And she mentions there's supposed to be a readiness exercise in Eastern Europe happening right now, but she adds, this one doesn't feel like simulation.
What makes her say that?
Well, her analysis is detailed. Signal distortion, untagged ID, and it's hitting here at 6 in the morning. That untagged ID is key. It means the signal isn't saying who it is, no call sign. Highly abnormal for an official exercise. It's like a military-coded call with no caller ID.
Okay, yeah, that is weird.
Her conclusion, something's skipping across the atmosphere that shouldn't be.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? She picks up another burst later.
Yeah, same formatting as that earlier interference. Repeating, it's 3 long, 1 short, 1 echo.
And she's very specific. Not Coast Guard, not NOAA, no call sign, no prefix.
So not official U.S. channels.
Right. Could be a drill, she concedes. Could be blind pings from an old Cold War node. But she logs it. Just logs it in case the pattern tightens.
It's fascinating how she does that, right? Acknowledges the mundane possibility, but flags the anomaly based on her experience. Absolutely. She's not jumping to conclusions, but she is meticulously tracking these things. Individual oddities might be nothing but a pattern. That needs attention.
And almost like cosmic irony, even her own equipment starts acting up. Her printer.
Yeah, the printer just spat out half a Marine report and chewed the other half.
Leading her to joke, even the machines are uneasy this morning. It's almost funny, but also unsettling. Like the whole environment is glitching.
It adds another layer, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. Later, she picks up yet another burst. This one from inland, she thinks. Maybe a Springfield relay node? Or further north?
And what could that be?
She speculates maybe an encrypted weather packet, and she notes an unusual inversion pattern over New Hampshire and Vermont.
Okay, an inversion pattern for our listeners. It's basically warm air trapping colder air below. Affects fog, humidity.
Exactly. She notes higher humidity than expected, temperature drop at 800 meters.
Yeah.
And then, classic May, she just leaves it hanging. Could explain the strange fog, or not.
Always questioning. So beyond these, bigger atmospheric and transport mysteries, May also grounds it locally.
Yes, she brings it right back to Martha's Vineyard, reinforcing her role as that community voice. Okay, so ferry service is running normally, she says, but Tisbury Fuel is still rationing diesel. And there are reports of shortages trickling in from Rhode Island, parts of the Cape, too.
Which leads her to offer some very quiet but serious advice to the islanders. Check your supplies. Quietly but seriously.
And that's not just advice for islanders, is it? That's a takeaway for you, listening right now, about just being prepared.
It really is. It's about proactive, common sense, not panic. May emphasizes, there are no storm warnings, no alerts, nothing official, raising alarms. But then she gives her core philosophy. But you know me, I log patterns, and something feels off. And she adds, that's not panic, that's experience. It's such a powerful lesson in trusting that informed intuition, especially when the official channels are maybe quiet or simplifying things. Absolutely. So, thinking about us, listening may be far from the vineyard. What does May suggest? She gives direct, practical advice.
She does. So if you've got that old radio in the attic, dust it off. Simple.
If you're part of the net, run your checks today. For those involved in communication networks.
If you've been putting off topping up your tank, don't. Just practical readiness.
Yeah.
Her bottom line is both, reassuring but also cautionary. None of this means disaster, but it does mean attention. It's about staying observant, being prepared, not panicking, being an active participant in your own awareness.
That balance is key.
Yeah.
Wow, what a deep dive into these subtle signals Mary was picking up. It's just such a potent reminder, isn't it? How one keen observer with experience, can connect seemingly random dots into something coherent, even if it is unsettling.
Indeed. Mallory's broadcast, it's not just reporting news. It's like she's modeling critical thinking when things are ambiguous. She encourages all of us, really, to pay attention, log our own patterns, trust our informed gut feelings, especially when official lines might be silent or, giving simple answers. It's about cultivating your own internal light left on, maybe.
That's a great way to put it. It brings us right back to her grandfather's whole vision, doesn't it? That light left on, non-digital, self-reliant. Mallory signs off with a message that really echoes beyond the island. Just after 0600 hours, no official bulletins, no follow-up from Mass EOC yet. That's the Massachusetts Emergency Operations Center. I'll call in after the next segment and update you. Until then, check your gear, mark your frequencies.
And her final thought. It's really one for all of us to think about. A call for individual vigilance in, let's face it, an increasingly complex world, she says. And if you hear something strange tonight, write it down. You might be the only one who did.
Chilling. This deep dive really makes you think, doesn't it? About all the signals, obvious and subtle, that are just constantly around us. What patterns are you noticing in your own world that maybe others are overlooking? Something to ponder. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, stay curious and keep listening.